Pika Pika.
Hello everybody, welcome back to part 3 of Retro Roy travels to Japan, goes to the land of the rising sun. Obviously I'm filming these back to back, but will come out a week later. Hopefully you guys enjoyed Hard Off. Today we're going out of order in terms of where I actually went, but it's related to Hard Off simply because it's called Book Off. Now, when I saw this store, first I saw it and I tried to find it, the main one in Akikibara. I'll show you on the map again of where it was. But I saw the signpost for it. I tried to find it, but then there's nothing there, so I gave up. But then another day, I went back and no, sorry. I found another Book Off, which is close to where I was first, and I went in there and I got some pickups. And so I thought, well, I really should go to the other one as well then and find it, because they might have some goodies as well. Let's cut the chase straight to the video. Okay, so I amalgamated both of the Book Off videos in there. What struck me, certainly from the first one, is the price. I thought that definitely compared to Hard Off, last week's video, these guys were cheaper. They were cheaper, but especially the first Book Off, the range was a lot smaller. They didn't have nowhere near as much as Hard Off, right? The second Book Off was a lot bigger. I don't know if you saw that one, so there's the two definitely recommendations to begin with. Go check out both of them, the north and the south one. You'll definitely get some cheap deals at either, but yeah, the south one has definitely got way more stuff. I think it's called Book Off because they concentrate less on the electronic stuff and they got more DVDs, manga and that sort of thing, which unfortunately I wasn't really after at all. but for those of you who are into the manga and that sort of thing, definitely check them out. So yeah, from the first book off, you would have saw in the video, I saw a few things that were interesting to me, but I only picked up one game, and that game that I picked up was Final Fight 2. So you can see that. Again, you can tell, hopefully looking at this, this is in, I would say it's damn near mint condition, right? And remember, this has been packaged up and banged around and travelled with. I'm pretty certain it is complete. Let us just check. This is the first SNES game actually, so you wouldn't have seen this. The SNES games in Japan, just in case you weren't aware, are these VHS box sized, and they put the game vertically like that, which obviously different to how we do it in landscape mode. And the box inserts are these plastic, and they add a lot of rigidity. This thing is stiff as hell compared to the cardboard one in ours. And then the manuals fit almost perfectly in this little slot as well. It's very clever, right? This is the Japanese way, one might argue, in that this fits nice and snug within the thing, and then you can insert it into the box and you can close the lid without damaging the manual. Which in the PAL boxes, we ain't got no choice, right? It always happens, you damage the insert, this crappy cardboard, and you damage the manual. But yeah, there's the card. Final Fight 2. I have Final Fight 1, which is my version of that is NTSC American. So now I've got Final Fight 2 in Japanese. I guess, as you guys are aware, there's Final Fight 3, which is the rarest one. I'll have to pick up a PAL version of that at some point. I mean, that would be nice to have. But yeah, mint condition, fully complete. Final Fight 2. In case we're not aware, the UK prices of Final Fight 2 PAL I'll show. And for this I paid... Wait for it. Oh. It's not here. We'll have to consult the video and the price will be stated here. From memory, I think it was about 3,000, which is about 15 quid. 15 quid, I think. I may be wrong, but either way, the price will be there, and I'm pretty certain either way that it's significantly less than the UK PAL prices, right? And the NTSC price, without a doubt. Obviously, being Japanese NTSC, I don't think you can play it without an adapter on the UK PAL. I don't think you can play without an adapter, but I've got one. And as a beat 'em up game, I mean, you can even see on the box. Well, the footage will be on anyway. You'll be able to see that you don't need to be able to understand Japanese to play beat 'em ups. So yeah, there you go. First pickup from Book Off was Final Fight 2, which I'm really happy with. So the next one, I went to the second Book Off, and I was tempted to buy more games, but I decided to slim it down and just pick up... Initially, I decided to pick up 2 games, right? There are some stuff there that I was tempted by, but I'll talk about that in another video. But the 2 games that the first game that I decided to pick up from Book Off, simply because the price was so low, respectively, is N64's Mario Party 3. I mean, look at the artwork. I brought this mainly because A, of the price, and B, of the artwork. I thought it looks fantastic, right? With all the Mario Party characters on there, and you know, you don't need to be a genius to figure out that that's Mario Party 3. And then on the back as well, you can see the artwork there. This one's a little bit more beat up. It doesn't have an insert, but obviously the game, and a chunky manual. Look at that, big manual. And the reason why I bought that is you'll know from the Mario Party display, I don't have Mario Party 3 on the N64 in the collection here just yet, although I do have it in PAL. and the price of it is so crazy in UK that it's just nuts. This was 2,700 yen, which by my notes, I didn't write it down in the price. In my notes, I think that is approximately 15 quid. Maybe just a little bit more, give or take 15 quid. So in Japan, you can play Super Mario Party 3 for 15 quid. In the UK, you're talking over 200. So that was simply for that reason and that reason alone. I thought, yeah, you know what, I'm having this. I'm adding this to the collection. Lovely, just for the fun factor of the price difference. The next one. So I learnt that one of the things I figured out when I was there, I saw firsthand, is how many more SNES games that they have in Japan compared to the UK. Like, I don't know the exact number. I'll put it on the screen. But there's a shitload more SNES games in Japan compared to PAL that were unreleased here, is what I mean. They obviously, with all the local developers being Japanese and all the rest of it, they've released so many more games, and even the mainstream games, which we did get PAL versions of, they had sequels in Japan which we never got, and this is one of them. And you guys know I like Konami games, right? So I saw this bad boy and I'm like, yeah, I'll have him as well. That is Legend of the Mystical Ninja number 2. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen. And little did I know, in Japan there's a number 3. So we got number 1, obviously, and that's super rare. And again, it's in the nice red box. Yeah, the UK one, mine's up there somewhere. Whereas in Japan, Konami did 2 and 3. So you'll see the footage. I think it's very similar to the UK one. It's like a 2D kind of side-scrolling platform game. You run around as Goemon and you kill people. Again, I thought it was relatively good value. Little did I know, actually, that I saw it actually in the first book off, and the price was, I can't remember the exact price. I'll write it here. Whereas this one was 3637, which was 19 quid. So the first book off, which I thought was a chain, was more expensive. Just for a reminder, the first book off, the price was this, and I got it for 19 quid. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Have a look at this. So this booklet in Japanese style opens in reverse. So it's left to right, left to right, right to left. That's pretty cool, right? But yeah, again, this one not as good condition as Final Fight, but in good enough condition for me. Yeah, still got all the tabs. Maybe that's why it's cheaper. That it was just for Japanese standards, it was a little bit battered. A little bit of a tear there, nothing major, slightly out of shape, but you put the plastic insert back in it, it makes it much more solid, right? In that condition, it feels really nice. Again, for display, Mystical Ninja number 2. You can't get it in PAL at all, or America NTSC. So if you want to play it, you gotta play the Japanese one. So at that point in book off number 2, I was done. But I noticed from out of the corner of my eye, I noticed another game, and I was like, ooh, I think that's a rare, because again, it's not a game that I recognise. It's not a game that I've seen very often. And obviously the other one was Konami. The other obviously major Japanese studio that we all know and love is Capcom, and the game is King of Dragons. Look at that bad boy. This one is a 2D beat 'em up, side-scrolling beat 'em up. Oh, yeah, SNES is going to be 2D. Capcom, I think there is a PAL release. And there's definitely an NTSC release. There is a PAL NTSC release. I'll ping the price of the NTSC one up. Oh, and once again, I can't remember the price of this. I got rid of the label, so we'll have to insert the price from the video footage above if I've got it. If memory serves me correct, I think it was about 11,000 12,000. So this was around, if that was the price, is about 60-70 quid. Again, I'll correct it now, but for me it's a rare game. You don't see this out in the wild in the UK and PAL. I've never seen one anywhere, definitely not. Capcom game, beat 'em up. Everyone loves a beat 'em up, and yeah, being King of Dragons once again with the artwork looking fantastic. Let's just check it's complete. I think so. Yep, box complete with the manual. Oops, something fell out. Check out the artwork on the game. That looks pretty badass as well. I like how the Super Famicom uses the same PAL cartridges as the UK. Screw the Yanks over. But yeah, there's a cute little manual. Beautiful. So yeah, again, another game which, if you really wanted to, I mean, you don't need Japanese to be able to play the game. Typically all the names and the bits and pieces are all in English. Don't know why they do that, but they do. So yeah, with a converter, get this on in your PAL region and you can just play it. So yeah, really happy to add this to the collection. It's a good one. And that essentially summarized my purchases from Book Off. Again, you would have seen some of the items in the video that I was quite interested with. There was a bloke there that bought some PSPs for him as partner. He was quite interested. Yeah, I think he got a really good deal. But all in all, I would highly recommend checking out both of the Book Offs. Again, locations will be shown. Prices are much better than Hard Off, and yeah, definitely worth visiting. Really recommend it. Yeah. So there you go. Thank you for watching so far. That's part 3. Next week, or the next video is coming up, I think will be a two-parter. We're going to do Hobby Off, and we're going to do, I think it might be called Retro Game Shop. I'll have to correct myself, I can't remember exactly the name. And finally, in there we will also do probably one of the main events, and that is Super Potato. So yeah, I'll see you next week where we go over those. Ciao.